I often see people kind of dichotomize training and talk about, well, training for longevity and training for performance are different things. Like when somebody's trying to perform maximally, they're not necessarily going to be promoting longevity in life or in sport. And I just don't think this is a super good argument, because yes, when you are pushing yourself, you are going to maybe incur more fatigue and maybe promote some things that we would call like non-advantageous for longevity, right? But most people who are trying to perform well also care about trying to perform well for a long period of time, right? And so there's really no major demarcation, like as long as you are balancing the stressors of your training and your sport and your life well. Most of the time, training for performance looks like trying to promote longevity in the sport you're playing or in life. It's when we as humans like get greedy, don't understand all the things that we're doing to ourselves when we train really, really hard, or when we do excessive amounts of work, or when we don't allow for the time things typically take to actually drive adaptation. That's when things go awry. So it's just one of those things that like there's so much semantic arguments about like what things mean, and I don't love to get into those because it kind of doesn't matter. But to be honest, if your training is good, it's going to be promoting both performance and longevity. You're typically undulating between, hey, was that a little bit too much or was that not enough? Finding the perfect sweet spot enough doesn't exist outside of actually going and doing the thing. So don't get caught up in, hey, am I training for performance or am I training for longevity? The two promote each other if you are generally training well. And to be honest, sometimes you are going to push it a little bit too much, right? You are going to have pain or an injury that pops up. The big goal is to learn from those things and be able to adapt and continue to train in ways that promote health over time. You're not gonna promote health or longevity by doing training that actually doesn't stimulate you in positive ways. So again, me just ranting on something that I think is kind of silly, but I just think there's so many kind of silly arguments out there that it's good to kind of brush up against them and challenge the narratives that like when you're training for longevity, you're not training for performance or vice versa. It's usually in the middle. When you're training for longevity, you're training for performance at the same time, and vice versa. It's just a matter of finding the right dose of stress, balancing recovery, and pushing forward little by little. That's all I got for today. Appreciate you. Peace.